What's up? It's your boy Mighty Cuts, and today we're gonna have a low drop fade with the number 2 on top. So I'm just starting off by combing the hair in the direction that it wants to go, because we will be, when I put the number 2 on top, I will be cutting it with the grain. So just kind of combing out the hair. That way we know the direction it's going, and that way we don't scalp them. And it's definitely important because we're gonna be going with the grain, so not against it. So that way we see in what direction the hair is growing. So as you see, I'm putting the number 2 on top. Taking off some of the bulk, and then towards the hairline section, I will close the lever. That way it just brings down the hair a little bit more, and it makes it easier to line up. Boom, I'm just being smooth with it. And you don't want to press down too hard. Just let the machine do the cutting, just kind of just glide it through, and it'll just do the cutting on its own. Try not to do too much. If not, in one of those, if you scalp them, it's bad. It's going to be no good. So we're going to start off with the trimmers. So we're going to do our first guideline. And then we're just going to keep it around the ear. He likes his fades pretty low. So we're just going to keep it on the ear, and then we're going to drop it below the parietal ridge. And we're just going to do the same to the other side and connect it in the back. Boom, and then I'm just going to clear it up a little bit. And like I said, with the machines, I'm assuming if you have a Wahl, Andis, Babyliss, whatever machine you have, those are 5-star machines. They're going to do the cutting on its own. Don't apply too much pressure on the scalp. That way it doesn't irritate your client. Just kind of glide it through, just let it do the cutting on its own. And that way it's, it doesn't get you as tired, and it makes the haircut more pleasing to your client. That way it doesn't, irritate their scalp or any of that sort. So we're going to follow it up with the shaver. And then as you can tell, I'm not going all the way up. I'm kind of just flicking out right below that guideline. That way I'm not creating another guideline. I kind of want to blend it in. And what we do to one side, we have to do to the other. So we will connect it to this side. And if you are watching this video, if you do happen to learn anything, please do me the favor and subscribe, like, or comment on this video. I won't be posting another video unless I get, until I get at least 5 comments and 10 likes on this video. Then I'll drop the next video. So just please do me the favor and just do that. As it'll motivate me to upload more consistently. So right there, I went with my no guard open, about a finger's length. Then I'm gonna go halfway, as I'm showing you right there. So I showed you I'm gonna go halfway, and then I'm gonna close it all the way. So I'm going halfway. Boom. Then I just close it, and I'm gonna come right back and then just hit that guideline that we created with the trimmer, and that should take it out. And even then, I believe I will come back with the trimmer, and I just will kind of like flick over that line just to take out any guidelines. As you can see, there was a little bit of a guideline there. I'm just following it up with the trimmer and just flicking up into it. Now I'm going to go with my half guard, and I'm going to flick up into there about another finger's length. And notice how I'm going with the shape of the trimmer, with the shape of the first guideline where I kind of created that drop towards the back. So we always want to keep that consistently. That way that fade has that nice little drop towards the back. It's gonna be the same method. I'll go halfway and then I'm gonna close it all the way. And then keep in mind with like coarse curly hair, you do want to keep consistently combing the hair down because sometimes it is so curly when you are flicking it up with the machine, it'll curl back into its position. So you want to keep brushing it down. That way you can actually see how it's really gonna lay. That was halfway. Now I just close it all the way. I'm flicking up to that line. And if there's anything that you guys want me to kind of improve on this video, you can also comment below as well. Boom. Then my next step will, I guess I'm gonna detail. So I'm gonna go probably with my lever open and just hit it with the corners, you know, because there's probably some little discrepancies on there. Sometimes I'll detail as I go, or you know, sometimes I'll detail after as well. I think with this one I detailed as I went, and then I even detailed it after as well. So notice how I'm hitting in different angles. The reason why is because the hair growth there, it kind of grows towards the back. I don't know if you can kind of tell. And I'm using lever play as well. And I'm flicking up. Now I started with my 1.5 and I'm flicking up. And with this one, it's gonna be open. And then we'll close it halfway and then I'm gonna follow it up with the number 1. As you can tell, the guideline for my 1.5 is a little bit bigger than the other ones because I am going to try to fit a number 1 in between. So that's why I do create it a little bigger than the other ones. That's one of the things that I was having a lot of problems with when I first started cutting hair was create the spacing in between guidelines, you know? But once you understand how many guidelines you're trying to fit in between them, you're going to understand. So in between the half and the 1.5, there's also a number 1 that we're trying to fit. So that's the main reason why I created that guideline a little bigger. So I hit it open and then I went halfway, flicked right under. And now this is the number 1 that I'm talking about that we're going to try to fit in there. So it just goes open and I believe I do close it like halfway. Then I close it all the way and I'm flicking right into there. So I'm just trying to get that line out. Now that I'm looking at this video, I could have just gone with my half guard. Because as you can see, I went 2 times with my lever close. Right now, I'm just lever playing with that number 1. I could have just gone with my half guard. Could have saved me some time. But shit, that's why we're here. We learning together. So now I'm going my number 2 just to debulk all that darkness up above the 1.5. So now we're just trying to blend it to the top. I could have also gone with the number 1 with the grain there. See if it reduced any of that and then close the number 1 too. But we're here with the number 2. Flicking up. And with this one, I do exaggerate the flick a little bit more just because I want to kind of blend it, or blend it to the top. Usually with most haircuts, it will just blend right out the bat. It might just require some clip over comb. But then with there might be the haircuts as well where it requires a little bit of extra work, and that's okay. All we have to do is we just have to stay within our guidelines. Was if it's still dark after we hit the number two, and if it's dark a little bit below the number two, we're just gonna follow it up with the 1.5. If it's bulky and it's dark above the number two, then we'll follow it with the number three. It's all about being aware of what's going on in the haircut. And that is why you have to stay focused with the haircut first, especially when you're first learning. I know sometimes when you're cutting your client, you want to talk to him. So I will try to stay more focused on the haircut, because at the end of the day, what matters is trying to give your client that best haircut. Once you get comfortable, then you can start interacting with your clients and all of that stuff. But in the meantime, I would say try to get down your haircuts to the point where you know you get pretty comfortable with them. Then you can start interacting with your clients. That would be my suggestion, and I'm pretty sure your client would appreciate that too. Even if they try to talk like low key, I'm starting off, and I'm gonna focus on this haircut a little bit more. That way, you give them the best results. As you can see, I went with my 1.5, close the lever a little bit. Now I'm following it up with my number one, just with the corners, just kind of tapping it up and just tapping it a little bit, just to start lining up the darknesses in between the 1.5 and the half guideline. So that's about it right there. I believe I'm gonna line up the C cup. I'm gonna line up the C cup because I'm gonna move on. I know I definitely need some work. I believe what I'm looking at, it needs some work. It just needs detailing. Detailing will take it to the next level. So what I did is I did the C cup, lined it up, because that's when a little bit more discrepancies pop up. With the C cup, just try to keep it as natural as possible. At the end of the day, when you're lining up, you're more just trying to clean up any hairs that are overhanging. So just keep it as natural as possible, not pressing too hard on the skin. And that's going to give you your best results for a C cup. I will show later when I'm when I'm doing the full lineup. So now I'm doing this C cup, as you can tell. Keeping it as natural as possible. Just getting any overhanging hairs. I'm not pressing too hard. So I'm getting him ready for his hairline. So I'm putting the hairspray, laying the hair flat down, just combing it down. We want to make sure that the hair's all the way, just kind of combed all the way forward. That when we line him up and he washes his hair, we know that the lineup is going to stay straight. There's not going to be no little straggling hairs trying to pop out and stuff like that. Just kind of keep it in natural. So I start in the middle, and what I do is I go to one side and I create one side of the hairline, and then from there I go back, start in the middle again, and I connect it to the other side. And just make sure you kind of go across. Some hairlines are a little bit more difficult than others. Just try your best. Just try to keep it as natural as possible. In some cases, you do have to push them back a little bit. But in most cases, you try to just keep it as natural as possible. That way, when the regrowth happens, it doesn't look that crazy. So that's how I just kind of worked across. And definitely, the lineup definitely helps with the haircut. So this one, I'm spraying it's like some hairline spray. And usually what it does is kind of dries it up. And that way when you come with the blade, it creates that ash line a little bit more. There you go. You see I hit it with the blade. Same thing with the blade. You want to glide it on the skin. You don't want to press down on it because then you will start. You won't necessarily cut them, but you gonna scalp. You gonna scalp that skin. You gonna take a chunk of that skin. So try not to press. Try not to apply too much pressure. Just go gently, and let the blade do the work. And so this is another tip. When you do wanna, if you're doing a haircut for Instagram or wherever you want to take a picture, or even if you're at a competition, you want the fade to pop out a little bit more. I like to just go with my white pencil and just kind of, paint it in where I did the shaver, and then from there just brush it out. What it's gonna do is gonna create a more of a contrast in between the skin to the hair, and it makes that fade pop out even more. Looks crazy. But as you can see the fade on this side. On this side, I believe I had already detailed and everything. The fade is looking pretty crispy to me. I believe that's the end result. I kind of just brushed the hair forward. And there you go. This is your boy Marty Cuts.